Sometimes evil creeps its way into our homes.
She say this house is, there's something's wrong with it.
Or just too much house. Kind of scary.
And sometimes it's already there.
I've never dealt with anyone more conning, manipulative, unstable mentally.
Maybe he did want to finally disappear.
Hi, I'd like to report a missing person.
On November 24th, 2009, the Polk County, Florida Sheriff's Office declares lottery winner Abraham Shakespeare missing.
I think we both felt in our gut that there was something majorly wrong.
He hasn't been seen for 6 months.
I mean, rumors was flying everywhere.
What happened to this unlikely millionaire? And why does the person who claims to have all the answers keep changing the story? It all begins 3 years earlier. 40-year-old Abraham Shakespeare works as an assistant truck driver and is still living with his mother. He doesn't have much money, but he's generous and hardworking, a doting son and a loving father.
If he could help you, he was on his way. He was that type of person. If you saw him out, he never had a bad day.
I never known him to use drugs. He never came in my house smelling like alcohol, drunk, talking loud and all. He respected me.
Maybe one day. It's huge. Look at that mansion. It's so beautiful.
Abraham loves to take walks through the wealthy neighborhoods in Polk County and daydream about owning a mansion. But for a man who's never learned to read or write, it's unlikely that his dream will ever come true. Until the unbelievable happens. On November 15th, 2006, Abraham gets 2 $1 lottery tickets at a convenience store. Against all odds, he wins $30 million. Abraham takes a one-time lump sum payment, which after taxes comes to $12.3 million. He's rich beyond his wildest dreams.
I just keep expecting to wake up, and find out that none of this is real.
He even commented to me that if he lost it all the next day, he would still be happy because he was able to achieve one of his dreams, and that was to be a millionaire.
2 months after his win, he buys a $1.1 million home in North Lakeland. It has indoor and outdoor jacuzzis, a 4-car garage, a pool, a TV set in every room, and a separate in-law suite. The house is only 15 minutes away from his mother's modest bungalow, but a world apart.
Look, Mama. It's all ours.
I still didn't think he was gonna go get $1 million house. I really didn't. I thought he was gonna get a little cheap house somewhere.
Abraham asks his mother to move in with him.
You like it?
No, I don't like. It's too big. It's too big for us.
I can only remember when she came to his house the first time. And he was like, well, this gonna be your house. And she was like, no, it ain't gonna be my house. She said, this house is, there's something's wrong with it.
Hello? Hello? You trying to kill me or something?
Gotcha. Man, this place is huge. You could get lost in here and nobody finds you for days.
Despite his millions, Abraham maintains his down-to-earth lifestyle.
Because even after he won the lottery, he went to Walmart shopping. His clothes came out of Walmart, serious. He never bought expensive clothes. He bought a Rolex watch from the pawn shop. Yes.
With his new money, he plans to build affordable housing for those in need. And he continues to see his 5-year-old son, Moses, 2 or 3 times a week.
He set up a $1 million trust fund, so no matter what, his son would be taken care of.
He spent time as much as he could with him.
He felt like nothing about his lifestyle should change.
But right away, family, friends, and strangers hound Abraham for money. He begins to loan and give away millions of dollars.
Well, you know, the schemers came in, and the ones who want to be the bodyguards, the financial advisors, and because they knew he was illiterately typed, you know what I'm saying?
In fact, Abraham is illiterate, but it doesn't keep him from paying for funerals, groceries, and rents. He even buys a house for his cousin Cedric.
He really liked the attention, so he became, in essence, this quote-unquote big man on campus. He was the center of attention here in Lakeland. He was the go-to person helping those in need, and he essentially became the Superman of the community. You could practically walk up to him from out of the blue and say, "Hey, Shakespeare, I need to borrow $10,000, and he would give it to you.
I don't understand nothing of this. I swear, man.
And there's no shortage of people willing to help Abraham manage his money. But he is unwilling, or maybe unable, to follow even the simplest advice.
Still don't get it, man.
There were many individuals who came across Shakespeare's path to give him wise counsel, but he preferred the knowledge of his friends, those who did not have the business acumen or the financial know-how to help him maintain his millions that he won in the Florida lottery. On one occasion, he had a retired teacher ask him, "Shakespeare, how many zeros are in a 1,000?" And he responded 2.
Soon, the novelty of being the big man on campus begins to wear off.
He talked about how he changed his cell phone number several times because he had so many people pestering him.
One night, a few months after he wins the money, Abraham goes to his friend Gregory's house to get away from everyone.
I need a place to crash, man.
What's going on, bro?
Can't stay there anymore, man.
I tell you, come on my house and go sleep. But you sleep on a chair, you sleep in my bed. I ain't gonna get out here. Okay, how many millions of dollars you got?
Yeah, you sweating it too much, man.
Yo,
Here, come on
can
in.
you hook me up?
Yeah, I'll fix you something, dog.
All right.
So he came, and he did. He slept on the chair. He said, "You know what, man?" He said, "I wish I ain't never had no money." I felt like he was hurt because he actually found out that the people didn't want to really be around him. They only wanted him for what he had.
I said, "Shakespeare, why don't you move somewhere where no one knows you?" And he said, "I shouldn't have to."
So he escapes into the arms of a woman. In April 2007, 5 months after his big win, Abraham meets 27-year-old Centauria Butler.
I always felt like, of course, she was a gold digger. Of course, you know, she wasn't with him from the beginning.
After hearing that she's down on her luck, Abraham offers Centauria a place to stay.
Oh, I loved every minute of that house. Oh gosh, on the back was the pool area, which was also like covered in, and it had a TV out there, and you had the jacuzzi and the pool. And half of it we never even enjoyed. It was just too much house.
Abraham? Addy, are you here?
Kind of scary. It was. We had cameras on everything, but it was still scary at night. There was so much space.
Come. Yeah, this is the place.
Abraham and Centauria soon become inseparable.
We're gonna be happy.
They traveled everywhere together. They went on cruises.
They're happy, for now. But Abraham's a ladies' man, and it makes this millionaire an easy target.
The most important thing for him, girls. Yes. Abraham loved girls.
After winning the lottery, Abraham Shakespeare stays true to his simple way of life. The same can't be said for those around him. He gives a lot of his money away, and not necessarily to the right people.
I'm not finished talking.
Just wait a minute.
Abraham and his new girlfriend, Centauria, argue frequently over how he's dealing with his newfound wealth.
And that's when our stress came in, because we would argue constantly about how many people approached him. It was like a never-ending cycle. Never ending. If we enjoyed bowling, half this city will show up to the bowling area.
A year after she and Abraham meet, Centauria becomes pregnant. Their relationship gets back on track for a while.
When it was just me and him, he was a real sweetheart. It's just like he gave you his undivided attention. Always sit, and we had long, drawn-out conversations. We had a lot of fun when it was just me and him.
Hey.
But now that he's a man in high demand, Abraham finds it impossible to stay faithful to Centauria.
Don't worry.
The most important thing for him, girls. Yes. Abraham loved girls. If you was pretty, yeah. He loved you. He loved women. I mean, he didn't care what color, race. Now, everybody know him, you know.
Abraham Shakespeare?
That's me.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee Moore. It is such a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you.
I have been wanting to meet you for so long. Listen.
When you broke, you get the broke type of girlfriends. When you got money, you get rich type of girlfriends. He was a ladies' man, you know, money. Money.
Well, you see, I'm interested in writing a book about your story.
That make a good idea?
Oh, my, would that make
In October of 2008, 2 years after winning the lottery, Abraham meets a local businesswoman who says she wants to write a book about him. Dee Dee Moore is the president of American Medical Professionals. She's divorced and has a teenage son named RJ.
She made a decent living with the business. It was one of those kinds of businesses that contracts nursing services on demand to hospitals and nursing homes when they had shortages of nurses.
This is Moore.
Hi, Abraham. So nice to see you.
Your
place is gorgeous.
Thanks.
Oh, hi.
Soon, Dee Dee begins to see that Abraham is in way over his head and how badly he's handling his finances. She offers to help.
By the time that Dee Dee Moore met him, he had $1 million left to his name. And Dee Dee, because she was a businesswoman within her own right, she constantly tried to show Shakespeare that she didn't need his money. She wanted to give him something rather than take away.
Listen, Abraham.
Mr. Shakespeare had other people helping him. He was dissatisfied with that help, believed he was being taken advantage of. She had suggested that they create an investment company.
I just don't want to see you go broke.
Dee Dee takes the reins on Abraham's bookkeeping, collecting on the debts owed to him, and paying out of pocket to help him get caught up on his own mortgage payments.
He and she went to the bank. They actually incorporated a company, Abraham Shakespeare, LLC.
Dee Dee spends so much time at Abraham's house that her son and boyfriend often visit her there.
Just so happens, Dee Dee's boyfriend was the same age as me, and I was like, oh, she's a cool girl. You go ahead, Dee Dee.
She looked at educated and had all them rings on her finger. She just looked like somebody that had her own business and everything.
What I want you to look at Is the cash out?
There's a lot of cash going out.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that. All right.
He was like, man, everybody won't give me my money back, so I got to get somebody to get my money.
Even with Dee Dee on the case, Abraham's financial situation is still in bad shape. He can't afford the upkeep on his own home. In late 2008, Centauria moves out. The plan is for Abraham to sell his house and then join her in a smaller home.
We had undecided that he gonna sell the house. We gonna move into something smaller, more maintainable, because like I say, he was running through money trying to help everybody.
With Centauria gone and Dee Dee in the picture, Abraham starts to change.
He had real power. He felt like he had real power because he had somebody up under him who was chasing something for him. You know, the more power you get, the more money you get, the more power you get, and the more power you want. And if you get it, then you want some more.
I got the papers for you here.
Okay.
Within a few months, Abraham's home is transferred over to Dee Dee Moore's company, American Medical Professionals.
So where do I sign?
Just right there. And then it's all done. Pleasure doing business with you.
Not long afterwards, Dee Dee moves in and begins to renovate. Soon, all Abraham's properties, debts, and assets are sold or assigned over to American Medical Professionals. The happy father of a new baby, Abraham is finally a free man. He's so free, in fact, that 2 months after signing everything away, Abraham takes off.
Shakespeare loved to travel a lot, and he would go to exotic places like Jamaica.
He wanted to get the devil away from here. You know, he tired of people aggravating him about money.
Hey, man, you need to holler at me. I'm worried about you, bro.
But no one knows where he's gone.
All right, man, you ring me back, okay? It's Greg.
I was calling him. I didn't get any calls back from him.
Newly minted millionaire Abraham Shakespeare is lying low. Some say he's run off with a woman, others that he's taken off on a cruise.
I know Abraham. He would go away in a minute. You know, everybody was saying he was out of town.
I was calling him. I didn't get any calls back from him.
I'm thinking, okay, he finally gone somewhere doing something for himself after the conversations we had done had. This man got millions of dollars, and if he gone on a cruise for a month, okay, that's fine. You know, I ain't messing with him. So I called back. Okay, so I text him. Abe, call me ASAP. Your house is on fire. And I figured he on a ship somewhere and he can't get no phone calls because he's out of the area, you know.
I still remember that phone number to today. I think I dialed it so many times, I'm just gonna permanently forever remember that phone number.
Every once in a while, Abraham does send text messages to close friends.
All of a sudden, text messages start coming. It was weird. It was very weird. I was like, nah, I've never seen Abraham write nothing but his name. For goodness sakes, you send him a text, I have to read it to him.
When I text, I get response. Hey, give me a call. Call me, I need to talk to you. It's important. A few seconds later, I get a text back from Abraham's phone. So the text come in, I'm gonna talk to you in the morning. So I text him back, man, call me. He texts me back, I can't talk right now, I'm busy, got a girlfriend. So there again, I know Abraham like girls, okay, fine. I text him. I said, Abraham, call my phone. I need to talk to you. So the text came back. I'm out of town. I'm not coming back right now. I'm tired of these bothering me about money. I'ma call you tomorrow.
God was just fed up. I mean, rumors was flying everywhere. Oh, he died of AIDS here, he died of AIDS there. And I'm just like, oh, God, I wish all this would just stop.
Dee Dee tells everyone that he's gone into hiding, that he's tired of being asked for money, and that he doesn't want to pay child support to Centauria Butler. This is news to Centauria, who had seen how much Abraham loves his new son.
He would stop by every night. I'm just coming to see my baby. I mean, come there and sit there for hours just holding it.
Greg is also unconvinced by Dee Dee's story. He wonders if there's a reason she's keeping everyone in the dark.
Greg. Hi.
Yeah, where Abe at?
Listen, Abraham says he can't come back right now.
Why? Why not? Where is he?
He got into some trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Bad trouble. He raped a girl.
What?
Yeah. Listen, I gotta go.
Hey.
I ain't never known Abraham raped nobody, but I know he'd be around girls. Maybe he done changed again.
Hi there. I understand you borrowed some money from Abraham Shakespeare.
While Abraham's gone, Dee Dee continues to collect on his debts and to loan out his money to his family and to people in need. And then, about 4 months after Abraham leaves, his mom finally hears from him. His cousin Cedric drops off a gift that Abraham had sent to Dee Dee, who then gave it to Cedric to bring over.
He wants you to take this to his mother, okay? I really appreciate it. Cheers.
It was a card, and the card had $100 in the card. Just was thinking he was right here in Lakeland and just sent that round to me. That's the way I thought about it.
But by November, 6 months after anyone has actually seen Abraham, people start to get worried. Finally, Cedric contacts the police and reports that Abraham is missing.
Cedric's main thing was that he had not seen his cousin since probably March or April of that year. He started telling about how the only contact he had with Shakespeare was through this lady named Dee Dee Moore.
Cedric told us that what made him suspicious was that Dee Dee asked him to deliver a card to Abraham's mother. And then he came back and said, well, you know, everything's all right, I don't want to be involved in it. Cedric was cooperative but uncooperative. I mean, his story changed and he saw him, he didn't see him.
The detectives aren't sure why Cedric keeps changing his story, but they're intrigued by the card. They decide to investigate anyway. They start by questioning Dee Dee.
Why did Cedric say he thinks Abraham is dead?
Well, I don't know, because Cedric knows he's alive because he saw Abraham when he gave him the card.
Cedric was the complete opposite. No, I got it from Dee Dee.
Abraham doesn't want to be found. He's tired of people asking him for all of his money all the time. And quite frankly, he doesn't want to pay child support to Santeria Butler.
Okay, so do you know where Abraham is?
No. And he won't tell me because he knows that if he does, I wouldn't be able to lie to the police. But listen, when I text him, he texts me back. I'll show you.
Okay.
No problem.
She would tell the family and tell people on the streets that, hey, I just talked to Abraham yesterday. He said to tell you hi.
Eager to locate Abraham herself, Dee Dee begins to help the detectives with their search, insisting that Abraham still won't tell her his whereabouts, although they continue to be in touch. She makes the hour-long drive to their offices regularly without complaint and often stays until 2 or 3 a.m. telling the detectives everything she can think of that might lead to where Abraham could be.
I have a little video that I took.
Okay.
And it shows Abraham, he didn't want to be here anymore.
She gives our missing persons unit a videotape, and it's Abraham, and she's filming it, and she says, hey, you want to get out of here? And he's like, yeah, let's get out of here. And she's like, where do you want to go? You want to get away from everybody asking you for money? You want to go to Cozumel? You want to go to Jamaica? And he kind of waves his hand like, get away. He goes, yeah, let's go.
You get tired of people asking you for money all the time, babe?
Give me your opinion on it.
I've been tired. A year ago.
How do you like are you gonna miss your home?
Yep, I miss it, but life goes on.
The detectives don't know what to believe, so they keep digging. As part of their investigation, they reach out to Howard Stitzel, Dee Dee's attorney, who had prepped all the paperwork when everything was transferred to Dee Dee's company.
He tells us Abraham's fine. I just talked to him. in October. So that kind of threw us for a little bit of a loop, because here you have this attorney, and an attorney is supposed to be held to the same level as us, you know, honesty, integrity, and he's telling us that he talked to Abraham.
The cops don't know what to think. They track down as many people who know Abraham as they can find, including Abraham's old friend Pappy. He also shows them a text message he received from Abraham.
Basically said, hey, I'm in some trouble. I got beat up by a bookie. Poppy thought that was very strange because A, he never got text messages from Abraham, and B, he didn't know Abraham to be involved in any type of gambling or drugs or anything like that.
But as others have explained to the detectives, while Abraham is illiterate, he's been known to ask them to read or respond to texts on his phone. Pappy's text doesn't prove anything. Then the cops get a call that changes everything.
She said it was this guy named Ronald. If she say anything about what he said, that he would murder her family.
All you have to do is call the sheriff and tell him that Abraham came to your house.
No one knows where new billionaire Abraham Shakespeare is. Has he taken off or has he gone missing? On November 16th, 2009, his girlfriend Centauria calls the police with some very interesting news. An odd proposition from Dee Moore.
He just called me. She offered me a house.
She say, how about I give you that house that you always wanted, and all you have to do is call the sheriff and tell him that Abraham came to your house and he banged on your window and you guys had an argument, and by the time you made it outside, he was already gone.
Didi spoke with Santeria. She said she saw Abraham.
Oh, thank God.
Detective David Clark calls Dee Dee in for another little chat.
You saw Abraham? Oh my God, why didn't you call me? I should have been the first person that you called. Oh my God, thank God it's over.
And then he goes in for the sting.
Did you ever offer anybody a house? Say they saw Abraham?
What? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And so she calls me a liar at first.
But eventually, Dee Dee confesses that she asked Centauria to do that, and with good reason.
Well, I just wanted to do whatever I had to do I wanted this to be over.
You guys are ruining my life. You're ruining my business. It doesn't matter where I go or what I do, but everybody knows what happened. They're all saying that I didn't.
It's enough to convince them that something is amiss. So they trace the cell phone calls Dee Dee's been receiving from Abraham.
And well, we found out that the day that we think he went missing in April, all phone calls stopped. There's no phone calls that connect on his phone except for to Dee Moore. Every time these phone calls connect, the phones are right next to each other. They're on the same tower. They're traveling the same direction. So right there, we know more than likely Dee Dee has his phone, and Dee Dee is the one pretending to make these phone calls and pretending to send these text messages.
I don't have anything anymore. You guys are taking everything away from me, and you don't even care. You don't even know what it's like.
We're not saying that. All we're just trying to find out is what happened.
The cops confront Dee Dee again, this time about the phone records. She has another good reason for this. She claims that Abraham gave her his phone to keep everyone away from him. Abraham simply doesn't want to be found. But she has proof that Abraham is alive. A paternity test. Abraham's DNA was collected to compare with Centauria's son. The date stamp is April 28th, more than 2 weeks after his alleged disappearance. Regardless, on November 24th, 2009, the Polk County Sheriff's Office officially declares Abraham Shakespeare a missing person, while Dee Dee still maintains that Abraham has simply run away. It's then that journalist Marissa Green tries to get a hold of Dee Dee.
Her lifestyle began to increase. She became even more flashier. She bought a Corvette for her boyfriend that was significantly younger than she was. She said in light of everything that had occurred, she was no longer able to get in contact with him. She wanted him to come out of hiding so the pressure would come off of her and everything that she was going through with the authorities. She said it was all a part of an elaborate scheme so he could disappear because he was tired of people pestering him for money and he was trying to get out of his child support obligations.
Meanwhile, the police investigation continues with a clear focus on Dee Dee Moore. A tracking device is installed in her Hummer. Then the case takes another turn. In early December, detectives receive a call that there's been a sighting of Abraham at the Winter Haven Hospital, just 15 miles away from his house.
Yeah. No, I'll come to you. Thank you, bye.
I think a friend of a friend had a friend who worked at Winter Haven Hospital says Shakespeare was there. I know I went to the Winter Haven Hospital and pulled every record and was able to determine that it was nothing.
And detectives really start turning up the heat with a game of good cop, bad cop.
Oh, I don't know what else I could.
Oh, come on, cut the crap. Christ's sakes. Clark, she's playing you.
Well, why are you yelling at her, Wallace? Why? Give her the benefit of the doubt. She could be telling the truth.
So we got in an argument with each other, and I'm like, I'm sick of you yelling at her. She doesn't need to be yelled at. You know, this is a nice young lady in front of us. You know, she made mistakes, and you know, maybe all this is true. Maybe Abraham is missing. And he looks at me like I'm an idiot. You know, and he's like, what? So I keep going with it, and so finally he realizes what I'm doing because we've done that before, but it just kind of caught him off guard. So from that point forward, she thinks that I am just her friend, so I play along with that, and I'm like, hey, look, I believe you. I just got to convince these other guys that you're telling the truth.
The ploy works, but Detective Clark is shocked by her reaction.
You and I could both use a little bit of stress relief. I've got a hotel at the High Rock. Why don't you come by later and we can relieve some stress?
I told her that, you know, I'm the detective investigating this. I believe you, you know, but I'm not going to have a relationship with you, whether he's dead, alive, or anything.
On December 22nd, Dee Dee tells the detectives she's retained an attorney and that they will be receiving a letter from her saying that she will no longer be talking to law enforcement.
Well, yes, but see, the contents of that letter don't apply to you. Well, listen, I'm willing to put up $10,000 for anyone that has any information leading to his whereabouts.
So why'd you change your story?
Detectives Wallace and Clark get a big break when they interview Abraham's cousin, Cedric, again. He explains why he was so uncooperative the first time the detectives interviewed him.
We finally were able to attribute that to, he was reporting Abraham missing, but Dee Dee Moore had the title to his house, the title to his car, so he was real careful about not ticking her off because Cedric truly didn't know. Was he missing? Did he really leave because everybody was wanting money from him? You know, he didn't want Dee Dee to take his home from him because she had the legal right to do it.
So we'll do that.
Elizabeth, you have outdone.
Then, just when no one thinks they will hear from Abraham again, 2 days after Christmas, Abraham's mother, Elizabeth, gets a phone call from her son.
Don't tell the police I called. I just want to be away. If you tell the police, you never see me again.
But I get a phone call from Abraham's mother, and she's like, hey, Abraham called me. I'm like, he called you?
The detectives trace the phone that made the call to Elizabeth Walker and track it to Gregory Smith, Abraham's best friend. They're able to locate Gregory in a mall parking lot with none other than Dee Dee Moore.
And we were like, okay, this is pretty interesting.
As soon as Gregory and Dee Dee part ways, the detectives take action.
You Gregory Smith?
Yeah, who's asking, man?
Detective Wallace, Detective Clark, Hillsborough Police. You know Abraham Shakespeare?
Oh, man, I tell you like this.
The detectives tell Gregory that they know he made the phone call to Abraham's mother.
He's like, look, I didn't realize all this was going on. I knew that he wasn't here. I've seen a little bit in the papers that he's missing. I thought I was helping her out, and at the same time, she was giving me some money. And, you know, everybody's happy, and we're just gonna fool the police and let Abraham be gone.
Gregory explains that Dee Dee begged for his help.
So she started crying. Everybody's saying that I killed Abraham, and I know where Abraham is, and the police keep saying that I killed Abraham. I'm like, man, chill, man. You didn't kill him, did you? Is he dead? No, I talked to him.
Since Dee Dee seems to trust Gregory Smith, the detectives ask if they will work with them to get through to her and try to find Abraham.
Why don't you come down here? We'll talk. Let's say...
And they told us we need some help to see if we can find him, if he is dead or if he's not dead. I went numb.
Soon afterwards, Gregory calls the officers and tells them Dee Dee has given him his next task. Under police surveillance, Gregory and Dee Dee rendezvous outside an electronics store.
Cell phones, one in every different name, okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Come right back out here.
She had Greg go in and buy cell phones. And, you know, this one, I want you to put one in the name of Ronald and one in a different name and one in a different name.
She go to telling me about this mysterious man that say he did something to Abraham, and she said it was this guy named Ronald, that if she say anything about what he said, that he would murder her family.
Dee Dee instructs Greg to call her from Ronald's phone so that her phone records show that he's calling her and is supposedly threatening her and her son's life. And there's more.
She gave me $300 to go get a motel room. Go get a nice one, and I'm gonna meet you at the motel room. She get a brand new cordless printer. She get a brand new laptop.
So I'm gonna write this letter like Abraham, and then you're gonna deliver it to his mother.
Yeah, I can do that.
The letter was supposedly telling Abraham's mother that he was okay. He was out of town, and he was in Miami, or some way say it was. So during that time, my surveillance team was right behind the comfort inn.
Detectives intercept the letter, but it still doesn't lead to any conclusive evidence about Abraham's whereabouts.
It was just for over a month, and, you know, we weren't getting anywhere.
So on Wednesday, January 6th, 2010, Sheriff Judd of the Polk County Police names Doris Donegan Dee Dee Moore of Dover, Florida, a person of interest in the investigation of the disappearance of Abraham Shakespeare.
We certainly hope that the confidence act that Dee Dee Moore is involved in to make it appear that Abraham Shakespeare has disappeared with money is correct, and he's alive and well.
Property, are you aware of that? Was Dee Dee Moore
Next, the detectives approach Dee Dee's ex-husband, James Moore. James tells them shortly before Abraham's disappearance, Dee Dee paid him to dig a hole on her property in Plant City.
And he had cleared that off with some orange groves and leveled it off where they could make a paintball field, which was one of the businesses she was going to have her boyfriend run.
Now, his plan was to come back the next day and bury it and fill in the hole as he would always do. But, so he leaves. Later on that evening, as it's getting dark, he says, Dee Dee calls him back and says, hey, the inspector's coming a day early. I need you to come bury this hole. And put the hole, put the dirt back in this hole. So he gets there and he says it's almost dark. He actually has to use the lights on the backhoe to be able to see to fill it. Doesn't really pay attention to the hole, but says he thinks he remembers seeing concrete in the hole. But one thing he did remember was when he got there, Dee Dee was dirty, hot, sweaty, like she had been working her tail off.
It's about the same time she had had a new driveway poured, and that same company, she had tasked them about pouring a concrete slab. So about 2 days later, I think somewhere around April 10th of that year, that guy came back and poured a 30 by 30 slab. That was really the turning point of the game.
You gotta tell me straight.
Meanwhile, with the police closing in, Dee Dee reaches out in panic to Gregory Smith. She finally admits that Abraham is in fact dead, She says that the mysterious drug dealer Ronald killed him, and he's trying to pin the blame on her.
But you ain't never tell me that before.
I only found out yesterday he came and he told me that. And now I don't know what to do because he's saying that if anything were to come down, that he'd say that I had something to do with it.
When did this happen?
Yesterday. Now what am I supposed to do?
I said, well, listen, why don't we try to find somebody to just take the rap to get your name out of it? So she was like, that's what we can do. We can find, do you know anybody?
I know somebody.
How do I do that?
First thing she said, y'all got him. Who? The guy who killed Abraham.
Dee Dee Moore is a desperate woman. She's plotting with Abraham's friend Gregory Smith to get the police off her back. What she doesn't know is that Greg is actually helping the cops.
Test it out.
You getting this, right? You getting this?
The detectives prepare him for what may be his most important performance in this investigation. He's been tasked by Dee Dee to find someone to take the blame for Abraham's disappearance.
Do it exactly as we said. We'll be right around the corner. Nothing to worry about.
Just get her to talk.
Exactly.
Hey.
How's it going?
I got you, man.
I say, yeah. I got somebody, I got a cousin that he finna do 25 years. And let me see what's going on with him. See if he'll take the rap if you pay him off.
But what Dee Dee doesn't know is that Gregory's cousin is Officer Mike Smith working undercover. Dee Dee quickly explains her plight to him.
She had got a threat from some drug dealers that if she didn't take the blame, they was gonna kill her. And my deal was I was already sentenced in the federal system and do 25 years, and I was gonna take the rap for her, and she was gonna pay me $50,000 to take the rap.
Where's the body? Where was he killed?
I don't know.
Dee Dee, it's not gonna make sense that I take the rap for this and tell these people that I cut a man's throat. He shows up with a bullet hole in his head.
Okay.
We confirmed that the guy told her where the body was. Ronald told her where the body was.
She actually told us he was buried on her property. So I told her, I said, well, me and Greg gonna go dig the body up and move it. Well, where are you gonna take it? I said, that's none of your concern. I'm gonna move the body that way. I know where it is.
Dee Dee also tells him she knows where the murder weapon is.
Yeah, we're gonna get this done. Watch the exchange.
Hey.
Hey.
You all set?
Yeah, I think so. How about you? I can be back in 15 minutes.
I say, well, make it about 45 minutes, because now I need to get my people into play.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
She produces a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson revolver.
You're gonna put it someplace safe?
Yeah, I got it.
While I get the gun, we set into play the things that I'm gonna need to dig this body up.
While the detectives trace the gun and find that it was bought in Tampa in Dee Dee Moore's name, Dee Dee shops for supplies for Greg.
She buys shovels. She loads this trailer up with all the tools you need to dig up a body.
The officers follow Dee Dee and Gregory to her home in Plant City. The plan is that Gregory and his cousin will come back that night to dig up the body under cover of darkness.
Nobody wouldn't see me dig.
Okay, it's just around the corner here.
Well, you'd have to draw me some kind of map tonight, because I ain't gonna know where it is.
Okay, well, I'm gonna show you where it is, and then if you, I can draw you something. Okay, so Ronald said.
I had her draw all of that out on paper and write it out on paper. So she called me 7 o'clock on the dot. She said,
You can start digging now.
A short while later, at the officer's instructions, Gregory calls Dee Dee and tells her she needs to come meet him immediately.
So we have Greg call her and say, Dee Dee, there's a major problem. The cops are out of the house. I need you to meet me now.
I said, man, I went by that house. It's 1,000,000 police is there. I said, what you did try to do, set me up? I said, man, you need to come out here and talk to me right now, man.
They arrange to meet at a nearby strip mall.
Okay, tell me, what's going on?
Well, I couldn't do nothing.
What do you mean you couldn't do nothing?
There are cops everywhere.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, oh my God.
I drove straight through.
How many of them were there? Okay, stay cool. Look, detective, this guy knows a lot about Abraham.
She's like, I don't know what's going on, but that guy knows everything. That's the guy I've been trying to. Y'all are messing up everything. I was just getting information from him where Abraham is, and you just ruined it. I'm like, well, that's fine. This guy's agreeing to go to the station to talk to us. Will you come? And she's like, yes.
About it. It's all gonna work out. Why don't you come down with me to the station? It's gonna be fine, okay?
Okay.
It's closer. What's going on?
Well, you got him.
Who?
The guy who killed Abraham. Who? The guy Gregory.
Gregory?
Yeah. You got him.
Are you having a good day?
Yeah.
It's about to get this much worse. That guy works for us. All the times in the last month you guys met, we were right there listening around the corner.
Okay, it wasn't him, but I bet you he didn't tell you about the
Then
other
she
guy.
goes, okay, but you don't know about one person. I'm sure he didn't tell you about him, and he's the one that killed Abraham. And I'm like, I got worse news for you, Dee Dee. That guy was actually an undercover cop. So then she goes into Cedric. It's Cedric. It's some guy named Furious, some guy named Ronald. I keep letting her talk, and so finally I'm like, there's something I gotta get to her emotionally. Something's gotta emotionally affect her. And so I think about her son.
Did your son shoot him? Did RJ shoot him?
No, he didn't shoot him.
He didn't shoot him. Then who did?
And I'm like, let's go. Because at this point, we don't have the body, so we're just gonna let her go home. I mean, we have 24-hour surveillance on her. We have everything. There's really nothing more we can gain. And she goes, my son RJ shot Abraham. She shot him twice in the chest. Abraham was trying to choke me, and my son did what any good son would do and protected me, and that's why he shot him. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll look into that, Dee Dee. Can you please get up and go to your car and leave?
Yeah, Captain, we just got to the scene. The boys are digging right now, and then we'll see if we'll find anything and see what's what.
With her strange confession, cops finally have enough probable cause to get a warrant to dig up Dee Dee's property.
You got something? Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have a body.
And they called me, they said, Greg, we got it. It hurted me to my heart.
It's terrible. It's awful.
On January 29th, 2010, forensics confirms that this is the body of Abraham Shakespeare. Based on the autopsy, police pieced together what happened that fateful night in April of 2009.
Hey, what's up?
He was shot twice by a 9mm or .38 caliber gun. Then he was transported to Dee Dee's property and buried in the same clothes he wore in Dee Dee's home video.
Sheriff's Office, along with assistance from the Polk County Sheriff's Office, arrested Doris Donegan Moore, white female. She's charged tonight with accessory after the fact, first-degree murder, in the death of Mr. Shakespeare.
Dee Dee declines to take the stand at her trial and is found guilty of first-degree murder. She's sentenced to life in prison without parole. She never admits to killing Abraham.
She never will. Never will.
How did we go from making future plans to this the end? I just never understood that. It was so much. You know, our son 49, so much he done missed. It was so much I sat and I imagined him being there for it, and he not there for it.
If he was here today, I would tell him, I see so much in you.
I love him like a brother. I wish he would have never won that money, because he'd have still been here. Money took him away.